Thanks everybody for coming. Let's pledge allegiance to the flag of
the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thanks.
Ready?
Jesse, go
Yep.
ahead.
The notice requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act for this meeting have been met by transmitting the notice of the regular meeting to the Commissioner's official newspaper on February 9th, 2023, posting the notice where required, and filing a copy of the notice with the Commission Clerk. The Deal Lake Commission meeting will be audio and videotaped and will be shown on APTV, Optimum 77, and throughout most of Monmouth County on FiOS 28. Ready for the roll call? Alan Hurst? Aye. Asbury Park?
Yes.
Teal is absent. Interlaken?
Yes.
Loch Arbor?
Here.
Neptune? Ocean?
Here. Eric's here, by the way. Eric just,
Oh, okay.
I saw Eric just popped in.
Okay. Tonight we have a resolution to approve the minutes of the regular meeting for February 16th, 2023. Someone
Jesse,
please. Yes.
There's one correction.
Sure.
On item number 8, when you
Okay.
mention the workshop, it is not, you have it listed as April 21st.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So it's April 20th at 6:15.
Sorry. Sorry. Okay.
That's okay.
Sorry. Thank you. Thank
Okay.
you. Workshop correction minutes. Someone offered to adopt the minutes from the regular meeting of February 16th with the correction to item 8 on the regarding the workshop meeting being April 20th, not the 21st.
I'll offer
Someone-
Interlaken.
Second?
I'll second.
Okay. Asbury second, that's fine.
Be it resolved that the minutes of the regular meeting of the Deal Lake Commission held on February 16th, 2023, being the same, are hereby approved with the correction. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Bruce, you got the bills list and the treasurer's report?
Yes, I did.
Okay, would you like to read it,
Ah,
please?
I'll try. We're not as smart down here in Florida, I hate to tell you. We're burning
you
all
getting-
the books. We're
you're
burning
getting
all
all
the
this-
books, so we can't read anything anymore.
There's nothing left. There's nothing
Yeah.
left in the library.
Yeah. So I think the total on deposit in the beginning of the month was $173,970.59. We had total receipts of $12,420.07. There were some disbursements that were also made, the amount of $6,260.15, making the total balance is $180,130.51. And the total on deposit at the end of the month was $180,130.51.
Someone please offer the treasurer's report and bills to be paid.
So moved.
Second,
Second, Asbury Park.
thank you. Alan Hurst,
Yes.
Asbury Park,
Yes.
Interlaken,
Yes.
Loch Arbor,
Yes.
Neptune. Ocean?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, Don, you're up.
I just want to add to the treasury report. I think I took a couple checks. There's additional checks in, isn't there? From a couple
What?
towns, the assessments.
Oh, the assessments came in, right. Neptune and Asbury.
Right. Was there another one?
That was last month.
Oh, okay. I got it.
Interlaken and I think
Allenhurst, wasn't it?
Allenhurst, yeah.
Yeah. All right, cool.
Not Interlaken, Loch Arbor and Allenhurst.
Lockhart, okay. Okay. Get to the agenda. The grant, we moving along. We got the contract in the hands of Precise. And Peter, you have any updates on that?
Let me unmute. Yes, I do. April 4th, work will be commencing. We're right now getting ourselves squared away with utilities and some site issues. There is an electrical service line that runs through the Pilgrim Pathway rain garden that we're working on relocating. So the contractor and the Ocean Grove Camp Meeting Association are working on relocating that line. So April 4th, they will be commencing work. Possible they would finish it within the month. But as we get toward the end of April, we had asked for an extension until the end of June, and I think it was given till the end of April. So we'll have to look at it as we get through toward the end of April and see where we're at. But yeah, this time at our next meeting, we'll be talking about work being done and closing out the project pretty soon.
Okay. Very good. The is that also include the removal of one of the poles, or?
Yes, it does.
Oh, isn't that wonderful? Yeah, it's two ugly poles in that location. We're gonna have a beautiful rain garden.
That's
great
what
news.
it does.
That's great.
Yes.
Shoreline protection, I'll be talking about that a little later. No updates from the state that I know of. Right, Steve? No, okay. We'll be
We
talking-
haven't heard, I didn't get any response either to the letter that we
Oh,
wrote, that the
right.
three of us wrote, no response. I was going to give it a couple more days and then next week resend it.
Yeah.
Just-
We might be having some more in-depth discussions a little later. We have a couple actions that we'll talk about new business. So
Yeah. So how does that sound? I'll just resend it. And, I know everybody gets so much email. Maybe he missed it, and I'll send it with that note at the top that
you may want to hold off for 2 weeks, because we're going to have some discussions with him on other subjects.
with Robert Clark.
I don't know. I don't know who I'm going to talk to. So that's what I'm waiting to see what if it's from Mr. Clark or somebody else. Whoever's taking, he's in Tom's River, correct?
I don't know where he is.
I thought he was in Tom's River. All right, well, I'll keep rolling. Goose update. We have the goose letter. Let me see. I want to show you. I think I have this up here for display purposes. Let me
Could
show you.
I speak about that? And you
Let
put
me
that
get it
up?
Let me get it up. Let me get it up.
Okay.
All right, go ahead, Jeannie.
Okay, so everybody knows that the DLC and the USDA entered into a contract to have the USDA addle goose eggs on private and public property, as long as the property owner has given the USDA permission to go on their property to treat the eggs. And Nicole is the name of the person that does the addling, and she's starting out next week to paddle around on the lake looking for goose nests. So we're asking the commissioners, as in the past, to help carry out this initiative. Once a nest is spotted, two things will happen. Nicole will send notify Dawn and myself of the address of the property owner, and one of us will email you the permission form for the homeowner in order to get it signed. And the commissioner would take the permission form and a cover letter that Dawn has put up there to get it signed. The commissioner can take the permission form and the cover letter and explains why we're managing this project to the homeowner and ask them to sign the letter. Also, Nicole will mail the same permission form to the homeowner. But when in our discussions, she says that in the past, it's gone better when the homeowner, when we helped and hand delivered the letters, when you can. So the homeowner will sign it, and the commissioner can email the form to Nicole or leave it with the homeowner to sign, scan it, or take a picture of it and email the form back to the USDA. She will, as I said, also mail the permission form to the address of the homeowner. So kind of trying to cover the bases. She says it's more expeditious, and we've had more success when a commissioner hand delivered the permission slip. So either Dawn or I will email everyone a brief description of this process so everybody knows what the process is. And he'll send out the cover letter too with that email. Anybody have any questions about it?
And for the public, the public can contact us through the contact page or call Nicole if they find a nest in their yard. That's the easy thing to do. They contact the commission through the contact page or directly to Nicole.
Would you like to bring that up, Dawn, for the public to see the contact page where what we've been saying on the email, on the website?
I think this is it. Is this it, Jeannie? Or no?
You haven't brought it up yet, so I can't see.
You don't see it? I'm sorry.
No. But what we've been saying in the website and in the mail.
Is this the one?
No, go under contact. Move over one to contact on.
Over one. Hold on.
Over one widget. From education, go to the right and click on contact.
I know, I gotta see it here. Hold on. I gotta move all this stuff. There's too many things here. Oh my God.
So, but basically the website and the email blast we've been sending out give people that information that if they see a nest, go to the right, Dawn, right.
Contact.
There it is. Click on that.
Contact.
And then all the way down to the bottom.
Oops.
No, all the way down. There it is.
That page?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Okay.
So you go under contact and then contact us. And you would put your name, your email address. The subject is goose nest. And then just tell us exactly where you see that nest. If you have the address, that would really be helpful. And any other identifying features that helps the USDA to find the nest. Best thing, of course, is the address, but if you don't have it.
Next to a pine tree, next to a dock, that type of thing.
But on the street and what town, and that way she can find it and share that information. Those people are here tonight. Share that with your neighbors that we're doing this because this is a lake-wide project this year. Every town is going to be involved this year.
And what's very nice, we're going to have one consolidated document from the USDA. Instead of having 3 or 4 different towns, we're going to get one document that shows where all the nests are and how we did. So hopefully we don't have that many nests. We're still doing the spraying of the material on certain areas. That's going to start up in a couple of weeks. So it's going to be all-out effort, and any public person would like to know what we're using on the ground, we can provide that on the website or directly to you. Plus, you can use your own methods. Goose chasers. There's all kinds of private companies that chase geese off lawns. Also, vegetation along the shoreline. The first 10 feet, if you had some plantings along the shoreline, they won't come up on your land. So anyway, that's some tips. Let me keep rolling. I gotta keep the ball rolling. Okay.
Carolyn has a question, Don.
Let me see the question. Who's the question? So Margot?
I have one question that maybe kind of going forward because we do have a lot of lake farm property owners who are not living in their homes at this time of year, and timing is critical to getting that permission. Maybe in a future meeting, we can kind of discuss how to reach those, maybe give those homeowners a permission so that they could sign off on allowing us to treat that.
There's a solution to that. That's one that may be one we ask that question. That may not be possible, but the people, she's mailing it to their house, if they have forwarding addresses, they will get it.
Right.
That's why the mailing's so critical.
Right.
So,
both every way. We're trying to reach people every way we can, in person and by mail. So yeah, You're right, Carolyn, though that is an issue.
Just we'll be on our toes in the next couple weeks. They're going to be next month and a half are going to be very busy for us on the East.
Bruce is going to fly up every time he gets a letter.
That's right. All right. Let me roll on the carp contest. April 15th, the Asbury Park Fishing Club is asked to do the fishing contest again, and asked for, they're going to support it with gifts, and they would like us to help out with the trophies. I'd like to have a motion for, I think we spent about $400 last time on trophies. I hopefully get them done before, before the tournament. So I look for a motion for $400 towards the carp contest.
Motion by Allenhurst.
There we go. Second.
I'll second that.
Okay.
Allenhurst,
Okay, yes.
Asbury Park,
D.
Yes. Yes.
Interlaken,
Yes.
Loch Harbor,
Yes.
Neptune,
Yes.
Ocean.
Yes.
Okay.
Now I know Melanie had, we'll talk to Melanie offline, but she wanted a location. She was going to take the carp, if I'm not
Yes.
mistaken. Is that correct, Melanie? Or Margo? Okay, great.
Yes.
So
Yes.
we'll try to make that happen, and we'll have to have containers to move them.
Yes.
I think her husband fishes and he has those huge fishing coolers in the
Okay.
back of his truck.
Okay. And we have some containers too that we bought years ago. And I still have them in the shed. So we can
Okay.
okay. That's excellent. Excellent. And that's, by the way, that's going to a bird sanctuary, correct?
Raptor Foundation.
Raptor Foundation. Thanks.
Right.
The restoration of the lakes, I don't have the latest. I know the town's working on it. On the Fireman's Pond and also Terrace Pond. I don't know any latest. Peter, you got anything?
No, I have no update on that. Don.
Okay. Water testing, interesting. There's something in new business. I'm not going to discuss it now. That's pretty cool. Opportunity for funds for Monmouth University. But we're going to have a presentation next month at 6:15 with Dr. Abelhoff, and he's going to be teaming up with Dr. Susher, and they're going to give a presentation on Deal Lake water, right?
The official title is how does the Coastal Lake Observing Network fit
Yes.
into Deal Lake restoration plans?
Perfect. That's perfect. Excellent. We're all waiting for that. New DEP grant, stormwater management grant. And that's the one at Seaview Mall. We have kicked that off. We've been contacted by the state for minor changes to our submission. And Steve and I and Matt talked about that, and we're working those details out. Minor details. Steve, we're almost done with that. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, so basically where we are now, we don't have a fully signed or executed contract from the state. What they have asked is just for some additional clarification and details on the materials that had been submitted. Unfortunately, we did submit all the detailed material that they are asking for, but the way the SAGE program is set up, what you enter all of the information into doesn't allow for these tables to be put in, the way we had them set up. So essentially, Matt and I are just going through that, and we're going to repackage it and send it back to the state. But then once that goes through, it may still be like 3-4 months before we get an executed contract to proceed. But yeah, the positive thing is we did get the grant money, and we're working now on, getting closer to an executed contract with the state.
And we're not necessarily kicking off with engineering work yet, but next month we may have to make a decision what we want to do and get Peter's team moving out on that. Because we can't wait. The big limitation is it's federal funds. We have to have the project done by June 2026, because all the paperwork's got to be done by December. They say it's going to take 6 months to submit the paperwork and get payment. So I'm a little leery about the whole thing, but
we've been through the process before. We know that it does take time, and and as we did with the last go around, we can always request a no time cost extension if there's some additional time that's needed.
they're saying no, Steve. They're saying absolutely no extension granted.
That's what they say all the time.
That's what they're saying. That's I know. But they say it's federal money. I don't know.
But as long as you don't ask for more money particularly at the end when it's the closeout reports, because DEP, has to review all of that. And it's usually the hang up is on their end. I mean, Peter and I have, put these reports together, we submit them, and then they just sit there like for 3 or 4 months. And then all of a sudden it's, hey, respond to these comments or make these editorial changes. But in any event, like you're saying, it's still going to be a short fuse, assuming that we do get contract approval to begin, like say July of this year. We'll have 3 years to get all of that done.
Right. The good news is, the staff they had a really good staff on the presentation. It was a great presentation on the program, and there had to be 60 people. I'm gonna guess 60 people on the call from all the communities that got the grant. So it was a webinar. I think it's taped. It's on there somewhere. I guess we can get that posted somewhere so people can look at it. But it was very, very good. I was very impressed with the state and the response. Tom, I asked them for a PDF of our package that was in Sage, which I can't see. They gave it to me like that next day. So that was the most impressive response ever by the DEP. But anyway, that's it. Any questions on that?
Yeah, if you want to if you can get that link, Donna, we'll post it on the website.
Yeah, I don't. Did you see it come out yet, Steve? The DEP
No.
link? No. When they get it done, I'll send it to you. It was good. It was a very good meeting. So it's a tape. It'll be a video of the Zoom meeting, I guess it was.
Just keep in mind, Jeannie, it's not specific just for Deal Lake. It was all of the
Everything.
All the entities, most of which are towns that received the grant money. So I believe, what were there, like something like, I know that close to 10 or 12 grant recipients.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
One of the things we're going to have to do because of the funding issues, we're definitely going to have to ask for bonding, probably for motion again, and we're probably going to ask for advance payments on a couple items, the big items. So that's going to be that'll be made next year. That'll be a major hurdle to get through, but we'll get through it. JCP&L update on that. I sent the letter. Steve wrote a letter up in review of the
NOV.
Right. Notice of violation that we got copies of. And we sent those forward. We had concerns. You want to go over your concerns, Steve? Or?
Yeah, I mean, so, essentially, long and short of it is that DEP did recognize that what was done was an unpermitted discharge, and they did issue a notice of violation to JCP&L. JCP&L responded to that notice of violation, basically saying that what they were doing was part of their typical maintenance of these utility vaults, and what was pumped out into the street was sediment-laden water. There were no contaminants in it, but there's no proof as to whether that was the case or not. And we can't go back and sample after the fact. So our position with DEP is that this remains an unresolved issue, and in the future there should be some pre-testing done of that vault water. And more importantly, I think it would be an easy thing. We've done this at our own construction sites, Deal Lake Commission construction sites, is to have like some type of silt sock that the water is pumped through, so that you're not, pumping all that turbid water, even if it's only sediment, into the lake. But those of you that did see the plume that was created, it was a pretty, unsightly plume. Now, did it add, a significant amount of sediment to the lake? No, because it was like mostly these fine clays. But regardless, it's not allowable, and it definitely exceeded the total suspended solids concentration that DEP has established in the water quality standards. So you can only go to 40 milligrams per liter, which would be pretty muddy looking, and this was definitely well over that standard. So we're still just waiting to hear back from DEP. We made our position known, And we got to see what DEP is going to do with JCP&L and how they respond to our comments.
Thanks, Steve. Any questions? Okay.
Well, this can be done with anybody, right, Steve? Not just JCP&L. I mean, any contractor or developer that's developing or doing anything along the lake. If
Well, I mean, if there's a disturbance that exceeds 5,000 square feet, if you have a disturbance that exceeds 5,000 square feet, that needs a county, erosion and sediment control permit. The state doesn't say, or they don't identify what types of activities would require you to do something like this, but they do have a water quality standard, and that's in NJAC 7:9B. And within that, it lists, the typical pollutants that you would encounter in the environment, and then the upper limit that's allowed to be discharged. Something like this, I'm not sure if it would be covered under what they call the NIPDES permit program, the Discharge Elimination System permit program, because of the volume. But I think what we want to do is set a precedent, especially with JCP&L. And then, like you're saying, Jeannie, if it's a construction site, that's usually a little bit easier. Peter and I have gone through this multiple times at construction sites. And if it's a disturbance of greater than 5,000 square feet, then a permit is definitely needed from the county. It's, like for a small discharge, it's going to be difficult, I think, to have something done, preeminently.
Well, it's a process. They're talking about vaults, and there seems to be no provision for vaults. So that's where they're looking. They do have vats. They do have containers that they bring to sites. In this case, they didn't do it. So they kind of violated their own rules and regulations internally.
Yeah. So answering Jeannie's question, I think for JCP&L, it's a no-brainer. We're going to push to have this done in the future. For other types of activities, it's difficult to kind of forecast what's going to happen, who's going to be doing it. But we know there are certain limits that are there, and the only thing we can do is, again, try to educate and then make sure that when there's larger disturbances, that those disturbances do have erosion and sediment control practices in place.
We're trying to make impact across the board, Jeannie. Definitely, it's going to be not only Deal Lake, it's going to be the whole state. We're trying to improve the whole state. So, anyway, let me move on. With
Can
that
I ask
said,
one more question about that, Steve? If they don't have a permit, then what? Who?
Well, that's why DEP issued a notice of violation. They
Right.
recognized that what was done, causing some type of environmental impact, and how they settle that with JCP&L, I don't know, but they've already made that determination that there was some type of violation, and the clear cut, in my opinion, although they don't state it in their NOV specifically, it's a turbidity. They exceeded that total suspended solids or turbidity standard in the state water quality regulations.
Right. Okay.
let me roll on a good news point. The Coke plant, which Peter, I think, is overseeing for Neptune, they're doing a great job. I went by it the other day after a storm, and all the water was retained and protected. I didn't see any sediments being washed in. All the water was retained on site. Peter, you want to talk about it? What's that?
It looked like the Deal Lake when I went by the other day.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I thought there was going to be fish in the pond or something like that, right?
That's the good news.
Uh-oh.
Activity stopped this past week, and we don't know why. Typically on a project like this, the applicant will have his construction forces ready. We ask them to install storm drain connection to the wetlands, so the protected runoff from the new green infrastructure improvements will be controlled going into the wetland areas to the east. And then a day later, they pulled all their construction equipment off the site, and we don't know why. It could be, you can use your imagination. It could be something as simple as scheduling, or it could be something related to the retail users that they're having at the site. Because the spaces, the pads, and there are 4 development pads on this site, are being developed for specific vendors. And if those vendors back out for some reason, they'd have to change their design details. So we'll wait and let you know. But right now it's stable.
Hopefully not. Hope it's
Everything's
not related to
controlled.
Silicon Valley Bank.
Yeah, maybe they had their funding in the wrong place.
Let's keep our fingers crossed on that one. But the water's holding, so that's
Yes,
good
it
news.
is.
Good news. Okay. More good news. Spring cleanup coming March 25th, a week from Saturday. So come on out and help out, and we should have a nice group there. We're going to try to break them up. I think Carol, you're on for Interlaken again. I think Steve's there. And we'll try to concentrate on some of our other areas, but all this is not necessarily in the water. It's along the shoreline. We're going to get into the bushes and get the stuff we couldn't get out in the fall cleanup, because that was still green for the most part. So now that was in the water. Now we're working the shoreline. So
Hey, Don, on the cleanup, remember to record all of the, how many people showed up and
oh, sure.
any other type of in-kind service, because we need that for our match on the existing grant.
I believe I have a special crew from Ocean Township Middle School, and I got them. They're going to do raking of small plastics down by Lock Arbor. So Lock Arbor, Asbury area, they're going to work on that shoreline, raking up the debris, because it forms there from the summer. It blows up on the shoreline by Asbury. So they'll get as much plastic they can. They'll do Lock Arbor also. So that's going to be great. They're going to
Do
rake.
we have are the Echo Paddle people going to be participating?
They're going to be there too. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So
On that same day, Asbury Park is doing a Sunset Lake cleanup and Wesley Lake cleanup.
right. So we won't send people over there. Well, they already have their crew over there. So that's fine. It turned out to be the same day, right? So
Yeah, they chose the same day.
That's a good thing.
Yep. New business. I talked about the carb contest. We got that done. I had April 16th. Hold on. I think I got that wrong. I think I got what I said.
thought you wrote the 16th.
I wrote the 15th.
Okay, I'll change it.
It's the 5th, Saturday, the 15th.
15th, okay.
Yeah, not the 16th.
Okie dokie.
My bad. There's school funding available. There's the grant. It's really focused on Asbury, I think. I mean, I'll read it to you. 1 second. Better find it. I had it here a minute ago. It was, I sent it out to you. Jeannie, you had a copy of it. And I sent it, was it Kevin? Who's the teacher over there?
Yes, Kevin, right.
Kevin, here it is.
Gold,
Yeah.
Kevin Gold.
DEP seeks partners to build next generation environmental leaders from overburdened communities. Right? Asbury Park's an overburdened community. And I sent it again to you, and I sent it to Dr. Abel, because I think it's more geared to universities and groups like that can help out and bring in the schools and educate them and have them part of the team, the environmental team. So I will hopefully that we can talk about it more next month, but the deadline's coming up it's due by April 12th. So if you want to talk to Mr. Abel and connect those two, that'd be great.
Are you talking to me, Don?
Yep. Yeah, Jeannie. Yeah.
Oh,
The email, I sent it out only half an hour ago to you.
oh, okay,
You
that's
see it.
why.
Yep.
I haven't looked at my email in the last half hour.
Right. So I just sent that out.
Okay, and Kevin, you want me to share this with Kevin? Is that it?
Yes, if you could. I thought I did already, but I didn't get a response.
Okay.
I shared it with Ocean Township Middle School, but I don't think they can apply. I think it's
All
more
right.
towards,
For the
yeah.
high school though, this,
Yeah.
and doing something similar in combination with our grant?
Yeah, they're
Is that
talking
what
up
you're
to,
thinking?
they're talking up to $100,000.
Oh, okay.
It's substantial money. So I'm sure they can work something out, make a nice proposal together. And, focusing on Deal Lake, I hope.
Who else besides Kevin are you talking about? You said
That's
both.
it. That's it. Just Kevin and Abel. I think that's the winning.
Oh,
comment.
Jason. Okay, got it.
Jason,
Right.
Jason, Dr. Abel.
All right.
Okay. We helped the Deal Lake Watershed Alliance with a grant request last month, and I don't know if they got it. I see Bob's there. They'll tell us, I guess, in the public session whether they got it or not. But they might not got. They submitted the paperwork though for it, and that's to work on the park at the by Colonial Terrace there. We had some shoreline issues last week that I was losing my hair over. Got more gray than I'm already gray. We had the Bob Dennis, our old Deal Lake chairman, owned a property on the point of West Allenhurst. And that point was purchased, and the new owner was, didn't take, I don't think she took any trees down, but she took a lot of growth along the shoreline and did some construction work. That kind of gnawed at me because there's no vegetation on the shoreline. She seems to be putting some trees in, but I'm hoping that we don't put grasses in. We put some natural vegetation along the slope. It's right on the slope. I think it's state property. We called in the DEP on this in the town. I'm not sure where it's at, but that was last week it happened. So, and you can see it clearly from Interlake. It's a house with the blue wall around it. Carol sees it every day running. Hunt probably knows about it too. So anyway, it's a premier location. It's a natural area, and hopefully we can keep it natural and get it up to speed. I think she's trying to do the right thing. We just want to help her out with that. Anyway, but the guys were putting dirt down. They were raking it up and putting dirt down right before the rainstorm the other day, which that wasn't good timing, right? Anyway, and Carol, you have something else.
Yeah, actually, that property that you just mentioned, Don, had been very natural looking for a lot of years and wasn't
Right.
significantly different, like structurally.
Right.
But the property that I noticed over the past yesterday, I was walking along Bridlemere and could see over on South Edgemere that there was a local tree company that was doing a lot of cutting of large caliper trees right along the water line, so close to the water line that I actually could see the tip of the chainsaw in the water. And then I went back today and took some additional pictures, which I sent to Don, which he's free to share with you. But I was hoping that maybe they were doing some selective cutting because I know there's a road issue over on that side, but it appears to have been pretty much clear cut, which is going to make the problem worse.
Well, if they're doing something that's 50 feet above the shoreline,
Jeannie,
Yeah.
please stop.
Yeah, hold on.
Please stop talking.
Hold on. She's
It's
not
a
done.
project
She's
in
not
Ocean
done.
Township. Let Don explain it and we'll answer it.
We're-
So you
Okay.
don't talk
Yeah,
about something you're not
we'll
aware of.
let Carol continue.
Oh, I thought you were finished. I'm
No,
sorry.
no. Let Carol continue.
So I took some pictures. I sent them to Don. And Don, are you going to share those photos?
Yeah, I'm going to do it right now.
Okay.
I got a couple other ones that I know are there. Hold on.
And I understand it was a township project.
Yeah, it's a township. The road was caving in here, and the fear of the town was when they're going to put bulkheading in here just off the curb, 1.5 feet off the curb, and slam it down. And they know they're going to cut roots, and I'm sure they're going to cut roots down. And they probably had to cut the larger trees. There's like probably 8 larger trees they had to cut down because they were angled off. They would rip the road out more than it is now. But there was a lot of other vegetation. There was stuff right in the water, like on the edge, right here, there. You can see.
Don?
Yeah.
Don, I have a statement from the tree ordinance, the new tree expert in Ocean Township.
Okay. Well, let me finish up. You can do
Okay.
that one second. So the idea was I think they're 30 feet long or 40 feet long. So they're going to pound those in. They're going to cut the roots, and the fear was the trees would die and fall in the lake, which I would say, gee, that's not a bad thing. I would have taken the chance and let them fall in the lake. But anyway, they chose not to do that. They chose another route. I'm not thrilled with it, I was heartbroken. This is my street I live on. So it really pains me, but I understand it a little bit, but I really want to be involved with the solution or the final outcome of this down the road. But go ahead, Jesse.
Okay, so he went out today when you were freaking out.
Sure.
And
Yes.
he wrote, Township of Ocean authorized a project to stabilize north bank of Deal Lake. Project has all necessary state agency required permits from the DEP. Bank and road stabilization and road repair will require installation of 30 feet of sheathing installed at 2.5 feet south of existing curb edge. This required action will result in the severing of the uphill, he wrote, tension side tree roots in the project area. This will greatly increase the tree failure probability levels to a dangerous condition. Tree failure uprooting will result in the trees falling into the lake, and the damage to the bank due to the root ball uproot will further exacerbate existing bank instability. Trees removed were less than 6 inches in diameter observed at grade. There were 16 that were removed. The tree species removed were black locust, red oak, black oak, sweet gum, black gum, and black cherry.
Okay, thanks. So, one of the things that comes from this is people pick, drop the dime, right? They called. I mean, I got calls. I was at a show in Fort Bragg, and I'm getting phone call after phone call, photos after photos. And so that was the good news, right? People are watching the lake, which is great. Unfortunately, it was an authorized, state-approved program, and I would have thought that state would have said, gee, maybe we could talk about saving some trees, but they didn't do that. They approved it, so we have to move on. I'm going to try to get involved as much as I can with the restoration of that, so we can keep the shoreline as natural as possible. I don't want to see a wall there at all on the lake. So we're going to have more discussions with the Ocean Township engineer so on that. But I'm going to move on that. I think we're done with that. But so it's obvious when you go around the lake, you'll see it. And hopefully we're going to keep our fingers crossed and make it better. There are some trees still, believe it or not, living. There are some sticking out of the lake that are dead that they didn't take, which I don't understand why.
He did say the contractor will remove the trees, the limbs that fall into the lake.
Yeah,
They
I got to make.
They did. They did. I saw that.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens with that. There's some trees we don't want out of the lake. There's a tree that's been there for a couple of years. That's fish habitat. So, but there's more to do. But I thank the public for calling and recognizing a problem, potential problem, and thank you for that. Pete, there was another stormwater grant that was sent out to the municipal. I got a copy of it. I don't know if it's appropriate. There was $19 million. That's the towns doing that, right?
I looked at that with Matt Mariano, and we're going to look into it to see if we would be eligible, but I do believe it's a municipal grant.
Yeah, but if municipality, Ocean, Neptune,
Possible.
yeah, I mean, they could do some great stuff with not Seaview Mall per se. They could do it for Middlebrook, Hollowbrook, the Harvey Brook, and Hollowbrook could be Neptune's project and back as the ShopRite. That might be a thing. Eric, you may want to pass that on to your guys, Neptune. But I'll send you an email, Eric. I don't think I sent it to you. I got it.
We have a real problem with the back of ShopRite.
Right. Yeah, I know. But there's they actually have a stormwater basin back there that's not utilized. The water flows right through it. It's built. You can see it when you're back there, because I did go back there years ago. It's a nice sized basin. So, okay, I'll move on.
John, real quick, I do have just one quick new business item. I know some of the commissioners are also sit on the environmental commissions of their towns. ANJAC, the Association of New Jersey Environmental Commissions, has a grant program that's open right now, $1,500 for each environmental commission that is awarded a grant. And it's for basically to advance local open space stewardship. So environmental commissions can use the money towards like open space preservation, management, maintenance, restoration, education.
Do you have any
I put
emails
the
on that?
link- What's
Oh.
that?
You have email? Or
I
link?
put the link in the chat
Okay.
to the grant application. So if you open up the chat, you'll see
Oh.
the grant application
Got it.
link, okay? They are due on May 2nd.
Could you possibly send that to the commissioners so that we could share that with our towns?
Yeah, I mean, if you open up the chat, Carol, right now,
Okay,
the
It's
link
right
is in there.
okay.
Okay, I'll send that to my guy after the meeting. Okay, thanks. We got to keep rolling. Jesse has to leave at 8, so Commissioner's last word. We could be real quick. I got no words. I'm done. Jeannie?
I just want to remind everyone that we're meeting at 6:15 next month, April 20th. For the workshop that Steve and Jason are presenting.
Jeannie? Carol? I'm sorry.
On
Just
April
real quick,
20th.
I just learned that no real work can take place in the lake after the end of March because of spawning season for fish. And Bob J was wonderful enough to give me a whole bunch of information on that, but I won't share it tonight because I know we're short on time. And there's all kinds of cool migratory visitors on the lake right now: Bufflehead, hooded mergansers, and brants. So keep your eyes open.
Quack, quack. Okay. Margot?
Hi, Clean Ocean Action Beach Sweep is April 1st, 9 o'clock till 12:30. And we have an Allenhurst, a lifetime resident. He's a sophomore at University of Vermont. He wants to do some sort of internship and wondered if Deal Lake had one. He is a environmental science major and a minor in chemistry and biology. And he went to Mast, but he would love to do some. And I gave him your number,
Okay.
Jeannie's number, and also he 4 weeks ago emailed the professor at Monmouth University and hasn't heard back. But if you could think of anything, his name is Stephen Meyer. His parents own the Shore Antiques.
Okay.
And then really interested and committed. And also, when is the carp tournament?
15th of April.
15th. And also I misspoke. It's the Rapture Trust.
Okay.
Rapture Trust.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Mhm,
Eric?
thank you.
Eric Hotelling. I see.
Oh,
him
I'm good. I'm good, Don.
there. Yeah. Okay. Bruce Frommer.
Well, I just have one thing to say. How long have I known you? About 5 years, Don? Maybe more. You
10.
still say
10.
my name wrong. It's a long O.
What?
It's what?
Romer.
Fromer.
Yeah. So,
Not Frommer.
but yeah, just one thing. I don't know, and maybe some of the persons that are more familiar. These projects seem to be going on. At least this project was going on without our having been notified in advance or being able to have any input. There must be a mechanism by which we can require, or at least let them know that we need to be placed on notice of these things so that we can have some input into the planning and decisions. I think that would be an important thing to do. If there's a way, if there's a mechanism of doing it, if somebody knows the logistics of it, the ins and outs of it, perhaps we can figure something out.
You pound on the town manager's table, and he's been very responsive to me. I was not happy, so I'm going to be. I'll probably go to a town council meeting and voice my displeasure on not being informed. I mean, I wasn't.
Don, if I can just add a little something to that, it's a real good point Bruce made. This is not a criticism at all. It's just evolution of what's occurred to the Deal Lake Commission. The
Yeah.
commission members used to be municipally oriented, the municipal, some council members like Lynn Parry in Interlaken,
Right.
administrators like Jim Rogers in Deal.
Good
The
point.
the mayor of Allenhurst, Joe Coyne, was a commission member for years. They had a direct impact and influence on their town's activities. We've gone away from that. We've become more environmental, and you're all very, very important, and you all play a very important role in the commission. However, you need to have a relationship with what Don just said, with the city manager, with the administrator, with the one person running the town. So it's up to you to talk to that person to make sure if there is any project being undertaken in any town, they get that information to you and tell them you want to be a part of the decision-making process.
Mhm.
Thanks, Peter. That's good.
Thank you, Bruce.
Sounds good.
And Bruce does that. I know that. And Carol does it. And Jeannie does. Jeannie briefs the town. And I think we all do a little bit. And Margot, I think, knows somebody very close to her in the building there.
No,
But it's hard. I mean, you don't know. I mean, I'll be honest with some important people didn't know about this. It just kind of happened. And
In this particular project, wasn't the Shade Tree Commission notified, though? It sounds like, because they
weren't happy troopers. Let's just put it that way. There's probably going to be a joint commission discussion on down the road within a couple of days, probably. So anyway, I'll leave it at that. Okay, now we can open up for the public. Jesse, where'd you go?
I'm right here. Do you want me to read, remind
Yes.
everyone that
Correct.
on March 18th, 2021, the Deal Lake Commission adopted a resolution regarding rules of conduct of the meetings for the Deal Lake Commission, where we're limiting public comments to 3 minutes. So with that, a motion to open the meeting to the public.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Mm.
Okay, we're open to the public.
Hey, everybody, it's Bob Drzeski. I'd like to talk really quick here. Bob Drzeski, 1403 South Wanamassa Drive. The grant for Deal Lake Watershed Alliance got in just under the wire, but we haven't heard anything back yet. So we'll let you know the second we do. And then the topic, I just want to introduce Jen Zarcone. She's from Save Coastal Wildlife. And it's a really like-minded nonprofit group here in New Jersey. Like-minded for our mission, for sure, Deal Lake Commission and Deal Lake Watershed Alliance. And they do lots of things, including putting up osprey nests. And as we all know, we lost some osprey nests around the JCP&L area last year. And this group is hardcore. They will build it, they will put it up, they're ready to go. And Jen, I want to give Jen a chance just to say what she's got in her mind.
Hi, thanks, Bob. I'm also a resident of, I live in West Allenhurst on Palmer Avenue. And I also volunteer for the water quality data testing for Deal Lake as well. And so I've been watching these osprey nests, for years and
Sure.
trying to get JCP&L to get them off the power lines, but they're supposed to put up new platforms when they remove active nests. And now we have a new one. I don't know if you've seen it by the high school on power lines right on the railroad tracks, which is a horror. This poor birds.
It's been there for years.
Yeah, and the ones in the high school. So we went to the high school because they want theirs down, the ones that are up in the lights, but we just couldn't find anywhere safe on the high school property to put up platforms. So we decided just to have a program, and we bought the kids scopes, and we've started a program so that they can monitor the nests, and now it's become like an educational thing for them. But we're still looking to get some safe platforms up around the lake. And yeah, now since we've lost 2 nests, and so I haven't been able to get anywhere with JCP&L. So I was hoping maybe this, any of you would have any ideas of the best place that we could get one up, knowing the lake better than anybody, and how, like who I could torment to get them up.
Hey, Jen, I think I sent you an email with Carol's name.
Yeah.
And we, there's 2 spots over by Interlake, one by Interlake And actually, they're both at Interlaken because the sewer authority, we could connect you with sewer authority people. Maybe on the south side of the sewer plant, they could put one up.
Okay,
They
yeah.
own that whole land. I don't think they lease it. I think they own it. Is that correct, Peter? The sewer authority?
Not aware of Don. I'm not aware of
Okay.
that.
Yeah, I think they own it. But they control, they manage that. So there's a possibility you could put one up there. You got, obviously they know the safe spots to drill.
Right.
Otherwise you're hitting pipes and stuff. So
Exactly.
yeah. And then the other side would be between Main Street and the railroad tracks over by Interlaken. And Carol could help you with that, or maybe another spot in Interlaken. And I don't know if there's any place in Asbury that would be maybe.
Yeah, we
maybe
looked all over there.
Comstock, well, over by Comstock, maybe by the corner of the football field over there. That's where we have our treatment device. Maybe that's a good spot. I don't know.
Yeah. And I was also thinking over in Allenhurst, where the old tennis courts are. It seems like
There's going to be a lot of construction there pretty soon, though.
Yeah, that's one of the problems there.
Big construction.
Also, the golf courses.
Really?
The golf courses, the back of the golf courses, that's a possibility.
Really?
Deal, Hollywood, and maybe even Colonial Terrace, maybe.
Yeah.
I thought the Colonial Terrace, the new project to the Deal Lake Watershed Alliance. I wonder if that would work with, not there.
I don't know. A lot of people there. There's a lot of people.
The trees are too high. You need to be higher than the tree.
Yeah, you need to be higher than the trees. And,
You need to be higher than the trees?
Open space, yeah.
Well,
yeah.
okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. And
well,
yeah.
Jen, that's great. I didn't know. Gee, you're West Allenhurst site. I can't believe it.
Yeah, we're neighbors. I'm right on.
Look at that. Look at that. Very good.
What's the name, Jen? What's the name of your organization?
It's called Save Coastal Wildlife, and yeah, we put up nests. We have a lot better contacts on in like Union Beach and Cliffwood Beach, and so we put a lot up over there on the Raritan Bay. But yeah, we're trying to. Since I live here and I'm like tormented by these nests over here.
And Don, Brian Mullins worked with the Rotary Club with Jen's team. They put up a Osprey platform in Keyport, so he was right there with them. So he's very much. So
and
this group gets done.
Yeah. So if you have any contacts or any way I could try and move this ahead, I would really.
Okay, we'll keep her. Have Carol will be our main contact. I think.
Okay.
I'll be happy to speak with my mayor.
She's a bird lover. She's perfect for this. So she's always talking me about birds.
They're almost here. I know. I don't know if it'll do us any good for this year because they're going to be here. Like this week, they usually start coming back.
Yeah.
But this is what happens, and then we forget about it until next year.
They formed 2 nests on top of JCP&L Tower again. They have a double-decker nest.
Yeah, I mean it's the best spot, really.
Yeah,
so, and there was one in the water tower this year also. So there was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for doing this.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Yeah, this is Gail. I'd like to.
Hello, Gail.
Hi.
Gail's the head of the
Rosewater.
Wesley Watershed,
Wesley Lake Commission.
Yeah. 2 things really quick. One, Jeannie, Wesley Lake is not doing a cleanup on March 25th. I did email that back to you right away when I got the newsletter.
Okay.
We are going to do a later date, not yet determined. We only got 3 people to come and work on Wesley Lake when we did it on the same day that you guys did it last year or last fall, whenever it was. So we're going to do it on our own day. The other thing is, last night in the Asbury Park City Hall, there was a meeting about something called the participatory budget, where the city of Asbury Park is making $250,000 available for the residents of Asbury Park to vote on projects. And all the projects that people wanted to submit were submitted last summer. And last night there were presentations. I did a presentation on outside exercise equipment along Wesley Lake. There were a number of presentations that had to do with Deal and Sunset. And I advised those people after I heard their presentation to work in conjunction with the commissions. I don't know, perhaps they did. Gabrielle was the person that suggested all of the projects along Deal Lake. She suggested a boat ramp, an ADA compliant boat ramp near Kingsley and the lake. She suggested a path along the Asbury Park property that borders Deal Lake. They suggested a dog park to be where the boat ramp is on Main and 7th. There were a couple of other projects that had to do with Deal Lake, and I don't know if you know who Gabrielle is. I don't know.
Yes, she did contact me and asked me a few questions, and I directed her to the people she was trying to get in touch with. That was as far as that got, though, Gail.
A couple
Okay,
projects.
so I told her, I told them that if they didn't get the blessing of the commission as of yet, then I encouraged the committee who's deciding on these projects to get the blessing of the commissions before they allowed them to proceed if they were chosen.
We officially know nothing. I know, I heard about the dog park, which I think is crazy.
Yeah.
Because you got to walk across the street. Everybody's going to get killed going across Main Street. So, I mean, there's other parks that are much better than that site. Plus, this dog waste is going right in the lake. So I wasn't thrilled with that one. And then the other one was that any kind of concrete around the lake, I'm totally against. Leave it green and do a walk on the grass. I mean, it's very nice. Grass, I do it all the time.
But the boat ramp was something.
That's good.
I think you were included in that email. Yeah.
That's a good one. We heard that. I didn't know it was a final proposal. So it would be nice to know that, right?
I think that you were included. Maybe I know you get a lot of emails.
We don't know the final outcome. We don't know. They should have the commission's approval before they do these things.
Oh, right. I don't think they're just presenting for funding, right, Gail? Isn't that how this is?
They presented last night. You can see all the presentations on the City of Asbury Park website under participatory budget, and they're having all the citizens vote before the end of the month, and the projects will be chosen in April and started. And I really think somebody from the commission, that's probably Jeannie, should contact Eileen Chapman, who's spearheading this thing, and tell her that the Deal Lake Commission has to be consulted. I mean, unfortunately, the Wesley Lake Commission got together and we submitted an idea that we all agreed on. Nobody else submitted anything for Wesley Lake, but there were some ideas for Sunset Lake. And I told the Sunset Lake Commission the same thing. You've got to tell Eileen Chapman that these ideas have got to be run by the commissions because you know what's best for the lake.
Thank you, Gail, very much. Jeannie, you got that? You got that?
Yeah. But I think isn't Eileen attending the city council meeting? I mean, she would have. I believe.
Right, but I think you just got to.
Yeah, I will
say just so we want to know. We like to know what's going on.
Right.
And have some input.
I would definitely. Thanks, Gail.
That's great input. Anybody else?
I mean, it sounds like the problem is they're making these presentations. And they've already made presentations, sound like, and we haven't even been notified, so they could be giving out money to something that we, that we vociferously object to.
The town's got to implement them.
That's exactly, that was my point. And that's why I'm telling Jeannie to talk to Eileen Chapman before the committee votes. Talk to Eileen Chapman and make sure that the committee consults the commissions before they give final approval on which projects get funded.
That makes sense.
Right. Okay.
Well,
I'll get in touch with Eileen.
Is it a public vote, and then the town council does the final okay? Is that how it's?
No, it's completely a public vote. And the committee will then, there's a committee that only consists of Eileen Chapman, I think, in terms of public officials. And the committee will decide on what gets chosen, and several may get chosen.
I got you. So it'll be like a top 10 list.
The
public will choose the top 10, and then they'll officially pick from
Okay.
there. Gotcha.
I'll be in touch with Eileen. Thanks, Gail.
So there's some hope. But the one for the boat ramp, that's, they want something down that end for the public. So that's a great idea.
Yeah.
And by the way, Interlaken's doing that. They have at least 2 boat ramps going in for kayaks in the next couple of months. So just to let you know.
I like the idea of it being ADA compliant too.
Yeah, it's excellent. Excellent. Okay. Any more from the public? Okay. I move to close the public hearing.
Second.
Hello, hello.
Oh, wait, hold on. We got somebody. Who's that?
Yes, it's me, Melanie.
Oh.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Don, would you get in touch with me, please? Because it's hard for me to get in touch with you because you're always on the go. To tell us when we can, how we can work this in picking up the carp and everything. Like when that'll be.
It have to be that day, the 15th.
That day, the 15th.
Probably
right?
around noontime, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What day of the week is that?
It's Saturday.
Saturday. Okay. Because I want to coordinate with the people up at the Rapture Trust.
Okay, that's excellent. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, I guess we'll close the meeting, close the public session. Jesse?
Someone move to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Second,
Second. I'll
Second.
second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Steve opposed it.
Steve
Thank you.
opposed.
He can't vote. He can't vote.
He doesn't
Aye.
count.
Bye,
Bye
Steve.
bye.
Okay,
We'll see
I
everyone
thank the
at
public.
6:15
Bella Vista,
Keep
baby.
those,
on April 20th.
keep those cards and letters coming. There we go. Thank you,
you.
Jennifer.
Thank
Nice-
you.
Nice new
Thanks,
face.
Jennifer.
Take
Thank
care.
you.
Bye-bye.